Welcome back to round 2 coverage of the Disc Golf Open of Pennsylvania, presented by Home Again Disc Golf. Thank you again to Home Again Disc Golf for supporting this coverage and the tournament. And also thank you to our Patreon family for supporting HyzerMedia. I'm Nathan Johnson, and today I am joined by the Lancaster League Night Shredder himself, Ramie Millar.
Gonna jump in here on hole 10, the hardest hole on the day for the MPO field, sponsored by Elevation Disc Golf. We've got a par 4, 568-foot shot downhill, kind of weaving its way down through the wood line here. Some people are going to go for the safe shot here in the landing zone about this spot. Most of the people are going to try and be a little more aggressive and try to throw a little forehand through this gap and see how far up they can get down the fairway.
Yeah, this is definitely a tricky hole, a prime example of hitting your landing zones and knowing your discs. You really want to make sure that you don't fade out too far left or right on the tee shot to set yourself up for an easy approach into the basket. Travis likes the flex forehand line, but this looks a little early.
Just a little inside.
Not the worst kick, though. He's still on the fairway. He'll have a chance from there. Cody didn't quite turn this one over enough, so he catches a tree there, and that'll be most likely par at best for him. I've seen Jesse get way down the fairway on this hole with his forehand, and it looks like he's done it again. That's an absolute
Excellent
crush.
shot. And that's what you're looking for, is just get that little drift down the hill with something overstable. It's going to fight its way back into the hillside.
Yep. So now here's Travis's upshot. And it gets through everything and is deep.
Is it deep? Get down the hillside?
Oh, wow. A great break and then a not so great break. As you can see there, that behind the basket, that hill goes very downhill very quickly. So distance control is key.
It's like Lucas is going the forehand roller there, just trying to get out and get some distance. You can see the umbrellas are starting to come out. We started getting a little rain at this time.
Yep, so it was just a sprinkle here and there. The canopy is pretty thick at this course, so you don't get too much of the rain to leak through. But yeah, you'll see some umbrellas, some towels, because the rain is coming down. Now here's Jesse from that great drive, just a little forehand approach. Oh, and he catches a tree. That's tough. It's going to be a death putt from there. We'll see if he decides to run it. Great jump putt from Cody.
Looks like they'll be making minis over there together.
Yep. Travis
is way down the hill down here.
Yeah, you can see that fence behind Travis. That's like a good 200 feet past the basket. So he must have taken a horrible roll, but that's a great scramble from down there. Is Jesse going to run this? Oh, it sounds like he hits the cage on that 40-footer.
What a par save from Travis, all the way down the hill, back up.
Yeah, that is a really impressive scramble. And just like we saw in the first round, a nice par frame from our card on the hardest hole of the course. So nothing wrong with that.
Hole 11, sponsored by Elevation Disc Golf, is a par 3, 350-foot shot. Some players are going to be throwing the inside hyzer forehand. Others are going to be throwing a little turnover to just get out into the open field and give themselves a chance at a putt here.
Yep, there is OB down the left side of the fairway. The really only hole with an OB rope on the course. So if anything, you just want to make sure you don't kick left off the tee, as Lucas takes a very fortunate little kiss off the tree and roll towards the basket on his forehand. That'll be a putt for birdie. Travis looks like he kicked early there. Hopefully he stayed in bounds.
Flyer, baby, flyer.
Nice little forehand from Cody.
Yeah, that'll putt. Jesse, he likes that forehand line as well. Oh, that's wide though. Yeah, not a bad kick. keeps him in the fairway, keeps him in bounds, and that should be a pretty straightforward par. But it looks like
Travis might have found his way to out of bounds over here.
yeah, it's hard to tell. I'm gonna guess that he probably kicked out of bounds because it would be very surprising if he stayed in after that kick. But a nice recovery shot either way to give himself a putt. Another 70-footer for Jesse. Just oh, Cody just leaves that 40-footer a little left, and maybe the chains are getting a little slippery with this rain coming down. As Lucas is able to put in another great birdie.
You see Jesse shielding his disc away from the rain. Rain's starting to pick up a little bit more. You might start hearing a couple rumbles of thunder here as we start getting a little farther into this round.
Yep, just that little bit of extra energy it takes, that mentally taxing, element of the rain is for sure going to come into play here as we come down the stretch.
And then we go into hole 12, par 4, 564-foot hole. A lot of players are going to be throwing either a forehand down this left side gap, trying to get back to the right, or they're going to try and get a little more aggressive with a little turnover to get down through this gap and try to eat up as much distance as they can. This does slope very hard down to the left, and it does go down to a fence down at the very end of the reservoir.
Yep, I'm guessing we'll see. We're going to see Lucas. He's going for the turnover line, but he definitely does not turn this over. So he's going to need and that's what happens. There's that slope that can just drag your disc all the way down to the left if you're not careful with your angle control. So Lucas is going to have a very tricky up and down from over there, and Cody looks like he overturns this forehand, so that'll be a tough spot as well. Another player. Yeah, another player overturns his drive. And Travis, he's going big, but this one is early. All right, so nobody's in the fairway really here, so let's see if our players can manufacture some putts out of this.
Travis got most of the way down there. He's about 80-90 feet away from the basket. It's a nice shot from back there at the edge.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Should be a pretty routine par from there. Let's see what Cody's got here.
And again, when you're in the woods, it's just about getting as much distance as you can in here.
Yep, especially when you're off the fairway on this course. Just find a gap that can get you at least 200, 300 feet down the fairway and just hit it, commit to it. That looks like Jesse's done that here. Not trying to get to the basket, just trying to bite off a little bit. He's about 150 short. Hopefully he can save his par.
Lucas is pretty far down the hill. Finds his way to the backside of the green.
Yeah, I think he's got like a little 40-footer there. He must have just kicked or just pushed so much far forward off the tee that, he was able to find a line. And yeah, this is a birdie putt. Oh my God.
Wow, what a birdie putt. Making these holes look easy.
Did he even see the basket?
I mean,
that's why. I mean, we couldn't see him.
Nice.
Great shot from Lucas. Jesse is able to clean up the par, as well as Cody and Travis will do the same. So, wow, after that errant tee shot from Lucas, he's able to take a stroke on the card with a great approach.
Hole 13, we have a par 3 uphill, 256 feet. Most players are going to be throwing a little turnover here. Goal is just to get out of the gap and try to give yourself a nice easy putt up at the top of the hill here.
Yep. Doesn't really matter. You can kind of throw anything you want, putter, fairway driver, since it's so uphill. Just kind of blast your whatever disc you're comfortable with into the side of the hill, as Lucas does there, and give yourself a putt.
This feels like a shot that really fits Cody's game.
Yeah,
nice straight turnover.
Oh,
just a little low out of the hand.
Does get fortunate there. He'll have maybe a long circle 2 uphill putt for his birdie. This is a really tough forehand hole. to keep it straight enough because the disc is really going to want to fade out down the hill as it does there from Jesse, but he's still got a putt. Travis just leaves it a little wide, catches a tree, and he'll have to scramble for par.
This is where the rain really started kind of picking up and we started getting a little bit more of those thunderstorms rolling in.
Yep, you can see the umbrellas. A couple of long circle 2 looks here. It's very uphill hole, so if you're coming up short, this putt plays every bit of 60 feet for Jesse here. Gives it the height, but just couldn't quite dial in the left-right, so he's going to come away with a par. As will Travis and Cody, and Lucas looks like has a 15-footer to take another stroke.
And you heard that loud thunder right over top of our heads. Right after this hole, I believe they called a 30-minute weather delay just to make sure that everybody was off the course and safe. It's not a lot of coverage back on this end of the course, so getting everybody back to their cars and under safe cover, smart decision.
Yep, it took a while for the message to get relayed to us, but eventually we did stop play, waited about 45 minutes, and then jumped right back into hole 14.
One of the most fun holes on this course, par 5. You have an uphill shot off the tee. You want to get through that open gap. Try to get into this landing area if you can, or a little bit shorter, and then you have a nice straight tunnel shot to try and get down over the hillside here. And if you get clean, you have a chance to give a chance of an eagle look. But most important thing is just to get as much distance as you can, try to stay in the fairway, and find a nice easy birdie here. One of the easier holes on the course.
Yep, this tee shot is very much a landing zone shot, and then your second is where you can really open up and hopefully make a lot of progress down the fairway. So players are looking to throw a hyzer just inside this backside tree and kind of do that.
I think that was an anvil from Lucas.
Wow.
He tried throwing that in the first round, and it looks like he corrected on it.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. He does rip, so, you know, as long as you can push that about 250 to 270 uphill before you start going left and back down the hill, that's all you're really looking for. So that's a great shot. Cody with also a great shot, too. Jesse, this is looking a little deep. No, it's great. Yeah, 3 great drives so far.
A little bit on the left side.
Sure, but there's some sneaky gaps back there. Let's see if Travis can do the same. This looks a little too straight. Oh, but he gets sneaky.
He gets around the backside.
That's in a great spot. Yeah, you can kind of still hear a little bit of that rumbling thunder that was just sticking around as we kind of fought through this rainy bit of the course. Cody is able to bite off a decent amount there, but catches a late tree.
Travis just catches the tree as he gets down over the hillside too. Let's see if Jesse can find his way through the woods here like he did on 8.
Yeah, there's a bunch of probably 5-foot gaps over where Jesse is, and he just wasn't quite able to hit one. Whereas Lucas looks like he does, and he'll have a 80-footer for eagle. Seems to be a common theme with Lucas on this course. Nice shot from Travis. Give himself a birdie chance after catching a tree on his second, and Cody does not like that one, and he catches a tree as well.
Looks like it just kind of slipped out of his hand there a little bit. Jesse running that from up on the top of the hill.
Yeah. This is also a protected green, so as you can see, 3 putts in a row hit trees. It's not the most open basket, so, you know, it's kind of 50-50 whether or not you're going to have an open putt. Jesse does have an open putt there, and he's able to convert to save his par.
It's a good scramble on the left side. It is really difficult. You can squeak through there, but those gaps, none of them really line up, even though there are 4 or 5 foot gaps over there.
Yep. Yeah, like you said, you just want to try to bite off as much as you can and hope that's enough.
We go to hole 15, sponsored by Hyzer Flip Disc Golf. It's a par 4, 314-foot shot up a hill. Very steep incline. Goal is to get as much distance as you can without clipping one of the trees. That way you don't come flying back down the hill. Anything with height's definitely going to work its way back down.
Yep, this hole's just about making progress up the fairway, whether you go left side or right side gap, and give yourself a chance to have a putt for birdie. Cody's electing for that left side forehand. He makes it pretty clean and is gonna have a couple options from there. Jesse's trying to do the same, but catches a tree about halfway up.
Travis is going to try the backdoor Hyzer, get a lot of distance. Looks like he got pretty far up there.
Yeah, anything past that log that you see kind of lying in the fairway is a very, very good shot. Lucas thinks he got lucky, and
oh, he did. He got
think it
all the way
worked
up
out
into the
for him.
circle.
Yeah. Here's Cody. He's got that nice big Hyzer gap on the left. This is high.
Oh,
A little high out of the hand,
it flashed.
But
but
it worked out.
worked out perfect.
Travis, he's got just a nice straight putter. Yeah. Just leaves a little left. Luckily, this hole is short enough that he's still got a long putt to save his par, and it's not too bad. Yeah, Jesse's definitely disappointed with that effort. This is as close as you can get to a must-get birdie on this course. I mean, 314 feet, even though it is very uphill, is very much reachable for all of the field. So you have to give yourself a putt if you want to stay in contention.
Yeah, as you said, this back nine is very attackable, very scoreable, and it really feels like you're losing a lot of strokes when you're not getting the birdies with everybody else.
Yep. So we see a couple a couple birdies there, and a couple pars as we go into hole 16.
One of the most iconic shots that Lancaster has to offer, top of the world shot, 748 feet downhill, par 4. You're just aiming for this cluster of trees here off on the right. Basket is nestled up underneath the big three mature trees here on your right side. A little bit of OB to worry about behind the basket if you can slide underneath the fence, but that's about pretty much the only hazard that you have on the hole.
Yep, not too much to worry about. You just want to make sure you put a good move on this one and are able to navigate the low ceiling approach. So we saw Lucas with about a 40-footer in round 1 on this hole for eagle. So let's see if he's able to do that again and with a little bit of a slippery tee pad.
Ah, jeez.
Ooh, that looks pretty turned over.
Wow, that's far.
Not sure if that's going to work its way back.
What?
Yeah, that is an 800-foot drive, maybe more. But it'll still play for the birdie, but he's not going to have an eagle putt this time.
And it's pretty wide open over there, too.
Yep. Yeah, this is just a little high from Cody. He doesn't quite commit to the turn. Maybe Lucas's drive scared him a little bit. So that's going to be a long approach into the basket from over there on the left. Oh, and Jesse overcommits to this one too.
Works his way over there to the 17s fairway again. They'll have nice easy hyzers up into the basket. It opens up pretty well on that side over there.
Yep, yeah, it looked like he threw a stable enough disc that it's still got a good amount of glide. Travis, he's going to mush on his relativity. That looks like a great line. Right in the middle. That's what you're looking for.
Yep. Especially when you have a wet tee pad like that, trying to throw as much distance as you can. It's really about just keeping everything in control and giving yourself a nice easy up shot from there.
Yep, you just want to make sure you hit that angle control correct to get the glide and leave yourself with a nice easy approach. Cody leaves that a little short. He'll have a circle edge putt to save his birdie. Jesse sawed that one off a little. That's going to be a tough low ceiling putt there.
See if Lucas can correct and get it a little bit wider here. Slide in the backside of the green.
That's what you're looking for. It's a great shot.
Great shot by Lucas.
Now Travis, best driver of the group. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, gets a little bit of ground play.
Slid out to the back a little bit, but he'll be in the circle making birdie putt.
Yep. Cody from circle's edge, just
Sit
off
down.
to the right.
Sit down. Stop rolling.
Wow, that's a brutal roll away there. He's going to have a tester to save the par after that. Jesse, that low ceiling coming into play.
Oh, sit.
Wow, Cody's putters just love to roll. That's brutal. That's a tough bogey. This is definitely, like we said in round one, this is a must-get birdie for the MPO field, and Travis is going to be able to convert. Lucas is close for his birdie, and Cody needs to make this to just save the bogey. It's well done.
Once again, on the back nine, Lucas is just separated from the field, separating from his card and just getting the birdies like he should.
Yeah, and he's like very sneakily built himself a 7-stroke lead just like that.
Hole 17 is a par 3, 238-foot shot up the hill. Most players are going to elect for either a turnover or a forehand on the left side gap. There might be somebody sneaky trying to go hyzer on the right side.
Lucas likes that forehand line, so he's going to take it nice and wide, let it come back in, and that is just about as good as you can do it.
Yeah, that's ideal.
Travis is going to try to do the same. This looks a little wide. Yeah, and I think he caught a tree about halfway up the fairway. Jesse, I'm thinking we're going to see 4 forehands here. This looks great. Just a little slide up to the basket. That'll be a drop-in birdie. Cody overcooks it, but he gets a little bit of slide. Yeah, that'll pop.
Should have a C2 putt over there.
Yeah, maybe even circle's edge. Travis, he's going to have to scramble here after that errant tee shot. Maybe even give it a half run.
I think he's definitely trying to run that one up in the hill. Have that nice little backstop.
Oh
no,
my.
Cody.
Wow. That looked like a really good putt. Unfortunate break there.
Just glad his disc didn't decide to roll on this hole too. This is not the hole you want to hold a disc to roll on.
Yeah, this is definitely a dangerous green. Slopes all the way back down the hill where you teed off from, so can't be missing any short putts because the course will punish you. Cleanups there. Jesse with a nice birdie as we go into the final hole of the course.
So hole 18 is a par 3, 403-foot hole up here to a two-tiered basket raised up. Goal is to get it out wide here with a forehand and really bring it back into the basket. You want to stay away from the tree line especially after it rains. You get a very low ceiling and it makes it very difficult to try and make a putt.
Yep, I'm guessing we'll see 4 forehands here again, just like we did on the last hole. Lucas, he leaves that nice and wide, comes back. Surprisingly leaves it a little short, so we'll see if he decides to run that putt with a pretty healthy lead on this card at least.
I want to thank my dad for being an awesome caddy. Oh, dang it!
Jesse gives the shout out to Lynn, trying to ring it up, but still a great shot. Tried the Chris Dickerson move. Travis, that one's overcooked.
Ooh.
That's going to be a
And
tough
it's
up and
just out
down.
into the open. It'd be a nice little chip up into the basket. There's really not too much that you have to worry about when you're out there.
Yeah.
Just about distance control, really.
Yep. A little bit of rain though might make him sweat. We'll see. Here's Cody. He also thanks his dad.
So maybe
Sensing
that's
a
what I was
theme.
doing wrong on this hole. Is I need to be thanking a parent of mine as I throw it off and walk away.
Yep. That's how you get inside the circle. Travis leaves that one short. That's going to be a tricky putt. We'll see
Definitely
what.
gonna make this tricky finish.
Try to save the par here. Oh, man, just a little right. Didn't quite catch Jesse. There's those low branches you were talking about.
Looks like he might just be at the edge of it enough that he can get a little loft on this disc.
That's a great putt. Great way to end the round. Obviously not what Jesse was looking for, but he's able to keep himself in it with a couple good birdies on the back nine there. Here's Cody for the birdie. That's a great putt from him as well. Yeah, Cody, he had a great front nine, just kind of slipped up a little on the back there, but he'll be looking to bounce back tomorrow at Klein's. Here's Lucas to shoot one stroke better than his round in the morning.
Good round, bud. Thank you.
Right on the post, shooting 12 down in the second round.
Back-to-back hot rounds from Lucas. That is quite impressive. Even in the rain with the lightning delay, nothing could stop him. He was on a mission today. And Travis is going to unfortunately tap out the bogey there, which will bring him back to 13 under in a tie with Jesse. No surprise to see Lucas Oberholtzer Hess is going to be at the top of the leaderboard after 2 rounds at Muddy Run. He'll be joined by Harry Chase, Jake Ritchie, and Cody Bradshaw stays on the lead card. Tomorrow we move to Klein's Run in York for 2 more rounds in this tournament, the Disc Golf Open of Pennsylvania. Ramie, it's been a lot of fun commentating with you. We will have a new commentator for the final 2 rounds, though. So any final words from you?
I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity, and really enjoyed getting a chance to share my disc golf knowledge. And I hope everybody stays tuned in for the Klein's Run coverage. There's going to be a nice little challenging battle.
Yeah, should be a good one. We'll see you then.